The case of Luigi Mangione has shocked America. A young engineer who, in an act of madness, murdered Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare, one of the largest healthcare insurance giants. But what is truly behind this tragic murder? Today, we'll dive into the mystery surrounding this case and reveal what they haven't told you. On December 4th, 2024, Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was tragically shot and killed while attending a conference in New York City. The murder, which took place in Manhattan, rocked the corporate world and the healthcare industry. A masked man approached Thompson and fired multiple shots at close range before fleeing the scene on a bicycle. But who was this man, and why did he target such a high-profile individual? The events of that day quickly made headlines across the nation, leaving the public in disbelief. An innocent man had been gunned down, and the identity of the killer remained a mystery. But as investigators delved deeper into the case, one name kept resurfacing: Luigi Mangione. Luigi Mangione, a 26-year-old man, quickly became the main suspect in the murder of Brian Thompson. But who exactly was Mangione? A graduate in computer engineering, Mangione had worked in various fields, but had recently relocated to Hawaii. Described as quiet and reserved by those who knew him, his life seemed unremarkable on the surface. But beneath this calm exterior, something much darker was brewing. Mangione had moved to Hawaii in search of a new start, but his life was far from perfect. Despite his professional background, he struggled with personal frustrations, particularly related to his health. In 2023, Mangione underwent back surgery that failed to provide the relief he desperately needed. This setback, combined with his growing dissatisfaction with the healthcare system, sparked a deep anger inside him, an anger that would eventually explode into violence. In the weeks leading up to the murder, Mangione had been acting increasingly erratic, his social media posts revealing his frustration with the healthcare system and insurance companies. He had become fixated on the idea that his failed surgery was not just a personal failure, but a reflection of a much larger, broken system. UnitedHealthcare, the company Brian Thompson led, became the symbol of this system, a system he believed had wronged him and countless others. On December 4th, Mangione's rage would culminate in a devastating act. Armed with a gun, he set his plan into motion, targeting Thompson and ultimately ending his life. Luigi Mangione's motivations for murdering Brian Thompson weren't just about personal failure. They were deeply rooted in his frustrations with the American healthcare system. For Mangione, the healthcare system had become a symbol of inefficiency and greed, especially after his own surgery went awry. But the roots of his anger go deeper than just his own pain. In 2023, Mangione underwent a back surgery in the hopes of finding relief from chronic pain that had plagued him for years. However, the procedure was a failure. His condition didn't improve, and the pain persisted. To make matters worse, the insurance company, UnitedHealthcare, reportedly delayed coverage and made it more difficult for him to get the treatment he needed. The emotional toll of dealing with constant pain, along with the sense of being let down by the very system that was supposed to help, began to eat away at him. As he spiraled deeper into frustration, Mangione's views became more radical. He started to believe that the healthcare system wasn't just a bureaucratic failure, but a system designed to exploit people. In the months leading up to the crime, he shared posts on social media and in private forums, expressing his anger at the greedy CEOs and insurance companies that he believed prioritized profits over people's health. According to investigators, Mangione's anger toward UnitedHealthcare wasn't just personal, it was political. He saw Thompson, as the CEO of one of the largest health insurance companies in the country, as the embodiment of everything wrong with the system. He believed that by targeting Thompson, he would send a message, not just to the company, but to the entire industry. A manifesto was found in Mangione's belongings after his arrest, detailing his plans for the murder. Initially, Mangione had considered carrying out a bombing, hoping to target a large group of executives at a healthcare conference. But as his plans evolved, he opted for a more direct approach, shooting Thompson in public, a move that would guarantee his message would be heard. After the murder of Brian Thompson, Luigi Mangione didn't just disappear without a trace. In fact, his attempt to flee the scene revealed crucial clues that would ultimately lead to his capture. The investigation quickly focused on finding the killer, and Mangione's carelessness would provide the authorities with the break they needed. During his escape, Mangione made a critical mistake. He left behind several pieces of evidence. A water bottle believed to have been discarded in haste was found along the route he had taken after the murder. More importantly, a cell phone was recovered in the same area, a device that would later reveal some of Mangione's plans and communications. The phone contained messages that confirmed the premeditated nature of the crime and further tied him to the murder. However, it wasn't just the physical evidence that was crucial. The scene of the crime itself offered key insights into Mangione's mindset. Forensic investigators discovered spent bullet casings on the ground, each marked with strange engravings, words like deny, defend, and depose. These weren't random markings. They were deliberate references to the practices of insurance companies, particularly UnitedHealthcare, in delaying or denying claims to patients in need. Mangione's message was clear. He wanted to expose what he believed were the unethical actions of the healthcare industry. The engravings on the bullet casings sent a chilling message to investigators. They suggested that Mangione wasn't just acting out of personal revenge, but that he saw himself as a crusader, fighting against a corrupt system. These details pointed to a calculated and carefully thought-out plan, which included not just the murder, but the symbolic actions meant to draw attention to his cause. Despite his careful planning, Mangione's attempt to erase his tracks would not be enough to escape justice. Thanks to the evidence he left behind, authorities were able to trace his movements and eventually capture him. His arrest came in Pennsylvania, where he was found in a McDonald's, his face concealed by a hat and sunglasses. He was quickly apprehended, and the manhunt for the person responsible for such a shocking crime was over. The murder of Brian Thompson has ignited a firestorm of debate, not just about the crime itself, but about the issues that led to it. While many have focused on the tragic loss of life and the need for justice, there's a much larger conversation brewing in the background, one about the state of the American healthcare system and the growing discontent among its critics. Some people have started to see Luigi Mangione as a symbol of the frustrations felt by countless individuals who believe they've been failed by the healthcare system. To many, Mangione's actions represent the anger of those who feel powerless in the face of rising medical costs, insurance denials, and what they see as corporate greed at the expense of public well-being. In fact, his story has sparked a wider discussion about the ethics of healthcare, with many asking, is the system truly serving the people, or is it broken beyond repair? However, despite this newfound empathy from some quarters, the authorities and the general public have been quick to remind everyone that violence is never an acceptable answer, no matter how valid the underlying frustration might be. The murder of Brian Thompson has not only taken an innocent life, but it has also highlighted the extreme dangers of letting anger and dissatisfaction with the system manifest in such violent ways. The case has raised tough questions for the healthcare industry too. Will the tragic events surrounding Brian Thompson's death prompt companies to reassess their policies and practices? Will it lead to real change in how insurance companies operate, particularly when it comes to addressing the needs of vulnerable patients? Only time will tell. Luigi Mangione was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, weapons possession, and falsification of documents. His capture brought an end to a manhunt that had captured the nation's attention. But while Mangione will face justice for his crime, the larger questions raised by this case remain unresolved. Is Mangione truly a martyr for the disillusioned masses, or simply a man who took his anger too far? Can we truly understand the root causes of his extreme actions, or will we continue to focus on the crime itself without addressing the deeper social issues at play? As this case continues to unfold, it's clear that the story of Luigi Mangione is not just one about a tragic murder. It's a story about a broken system, the limits of frustration, and the dangerous consequences of unchecked anger. It's a reminder that no matter how just the cause may seem, violence is never the answer.